Domestic violence is defined as the violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse, partner, parent, or child. It can be categorized into two main types, verbal and physical. Verbal abuse is the excessive use of language to undermine someone's dignity and security through insults or humiliation in a sudden or repeated manner. Physical abuse is defined as the use of physical force that may result in bodily injury, physical pain, or impairment. Though physical abuse seems obviously to be the worst of the two, verbal can be just as traumatizing as physical. As many people say, scars can heal, but words are with you forever. To hear someone say, "You ruined my life, I wish we never had you, you're worthless," can be a lot worse than being punched in the face.
What's the standing emergency?
My mommy and Daddy are having a fight.
Is she hitting her?
It's talking to the police, Mommy. Stop it! Stop it! My baby! Stop it! Could you come to the police, please?
Okay, we're going to be there. What's going on?
They're having a fight because this has been going on forever and ever. Oh my God!
What's the matter? Hello?
To truly understand the emotional stress experienced by abuse victims, whether verbal or physical, is impossible if you've never been in the situation yourself. Though many victims may be physically able to leave the situation, especially in a spousal example, they don't, and a lot of people don't understand why. Common sense would be if someone is causing you harm, you leave, but for victims, common sense doesn't usually apply. How could you love someone who's bringing you harm? How could you want to stay with that person? But to the victim, that person may be a father, and regardless of their violent actions, that's still their dad, their childhood hero, and to let go of that is a lot harder than imagined. Especially when the abuser isn't always that way. They still have loving family experiences, same as you and me. The same could be said for someone in the position with an abusive spouse or partner. That is still the person they first fell in love with, and to just get rid of those feelings isn't easily done. Another reason victims stay is for hopes of a changing personality and an end to the abuse, or the opposite, a fear of further abuse, possibly even death. As many abusers are very controlling and restrictive of their victims, these people have very little support outside of their home life, and to leave this while unstable could be just as frightening as staying. Victims go through many different feelings and experiences during as well as after abuse. They get feelings of fear and anxiety, never sure of why the violent outbursts occur and when they will happen next. Witnesses of abuse, like children of abused mothers, often go through anger and resentment or helplessness, wishing they could do something but knowing nothing good would come from an attempted help.
So, have you ever, or do you know anyone who has been abused?
Yes.
Yes? So how do you think that abuse affects children in their development as they grow?
I think it has a profound effect
Yes?
on children because I've heard it said that for every 10 positives, if you give a child one negative, the child will remember the negative more than the 10 positive.
Yeah.
So I do think that it affects feelings of self-worth, and it's very sad. It makes you sad.
Yeah, so do you believe that this can cause further issues as they grow into adults? And
Yes, I think it can.
Yes.
I think that you can either collapse under it, or you can possibly rise above it.
do you believe that abuse is a cycle that can continue on, like,
Yes,
into families?
I think the only role models we have are our parents, and it's really unfortunate. And there are no parenting classes. Maybe there should be, but I do think that it is a cycle. If it's what you know, it's what you do. So yeah.
So what do you believe fuels abuse? Like, people, I guess, who are part of it and cause it, what do you think fuels that?
I think it's hard to pinpoint any one cause. I think it comes about as a result of their own life experiences, maybe their own hurts, their own insecurities, way they've been taught, what they've seen. I think that you cannot put your finger on one cause or one reason to why some people abuse other people. I think that it's a whole mess of things.
So, if you could say one thing to somebody who is going through abuse today, what would you say to them?
Somebody going through abuse?
Yes.
To not let it define you. To not let it repeat.
Yeah.
Don't be part of the cycle. Break it. You can.
And what would you say to somebody who is doing abuse and causing?
Stop it. I would say stop it now. Stop yourself. Stop yourself before you do it, and get help. Go and seek help, whether it's medical, from a medical doctor or a psychologist or what have you, or just a friend. Just stop yourself.
Well, thank you so much.
Nearly 1 in 4 women in the United States report experiencing violence by a current or former spouse or boyfriend at some point in her life. On average, more than 3 women a day are murdered by their husbands or boyfriends in the United States. 15.5 million children in the United States live in families in which partner violence occurred at least once in the past year, and 7 million children live in families in which severe partner violence has occurred. 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted in college. Victims of domestic violence are everywhere, in your classrooms, clubs, friend groups, and though they may have close relationships to you, they stay silent. If you do, however, see any of the following signs, there's a chance that your friend or classmate could be experiencing abuse: unexplained injuries and bruises or false excuses, isolation, or having to ask excessive permission to do basic things. Things you can do to help include gently mentioning it to this person and being ready to listen, guiding your friend to a community service or a counselor, and being there for this person as he or she will be going through a lot in the next coming weeks or months.
Who have experienced it in the past?
Yes, we've different forms of abuse, but yes, we've dealt with that.
So how do you believe that abuse affects students and to their development as young adults?
Depending on the abuse they can carry with them, they'll become introverted where they won't talk, all the way to not doing their work, depression, and sadly can lead to suicide.
Okay. So as students, what should we do if we believe that we have friends who are being abused or going through experiences such as?
2 words: tell somebody. Most cases, students are more concerned about being a friend and keeping a promise of not telling somebody instead of coming to an adult and let the adult handle it. You may be afraid that that person may not talk to you, they may be mad at you, but in the long run, 5-10 years down the road, they will come and thank you for getting them the help. We can get them the help that they need to get over their hump, and they will understand that no matter how bad the trauma was or is, that it's just a moment in time. We can help with them, get them resources to work with them to get over that so they can be successful students and parents and adults or whatever in the future. That won't stop them from moving forward, but they need to get that help, and kids need to come to us. We'll keep it in confidence, but let us know so we can help the student.
Okay. So our final question is, do you have any advice for students who are going through abuse right now?
It'll be the same thing. Talk to somebody, let somebody know, let an adult know. Depending on the situation, you may need to remove yourself. If it's any abuse, physical abuse from a boyfriend or anything, you are worth more than that to be abused by man, female, whatever. Get some help. Tell somebody. If there's something going through the home, again, tell somebody. We can get you the help that you need. Again, just like I said earlier with the friends, 9 times out of 10, kids don't want to say anything. It's not your fault you're being abused. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Get the help. Let somebody know so that we can deal with it and get you in a safe place. We want you to be safe and successful.
Okay, well thank you very much.
Anytime.
There isn't a sole reason that people abuse. Abuse is a learned behavior, and someone who may have been abused as a child or has seen their parents abused often grows into somebody who abuses. In this case, abuse is a vicious cycle and is very difficult to end. Being the victim in an abusive relationship breeds a sense of helplessness, giving victims a desire to be in control. And many times, once they get into relationships, it gives them the opportunity to gain that sense of control as they become the abusers. Though it is oftentimes the case, abuse isn't only brought on as a learned behavior. It can also be caused by mental health disorders, including anger management issues, intermittent explosive disorder, and drug and alcohol abuse. A question commonly asked is, how can anyone continuously inflict pain on others, especially the ones they love and their own children? But as many people who abuse have been abused as children, being harmed at such a young age, they never develop a feeling of empathy towards others, so they feel no pain as they bring it upon others.